product person. I love product. I am a CTO and a startup tech advisor, and also created a training called Tech Speak for Entrepreneurs to help early stage entrepreneurs really understand how to optimize the process. Using lean and agile methodologies and a persona is such a big part of it, and product development is such a big part of it. Um, so I'm happy to share all the insights that I have. It's a fancy way of actually saying, this is our customer profile. This is who we are serving. So just don't get intimidated by the word persona. Everybody's doing it, and you are probably already have, if you have customers, you understand who are your customers. Um, I think persona became a word because we borrowed it from user experience people, and they build very detailed personas around behavior and their needs and functions and everything about the user. And the idea is that why do we, if we want to understand why we need personas in the first place, is so that we can deeply understand our customers, so that we can serve them better and we can make better decisions, not just in product, but in marketing, in communications, right? In how we serve them, so that you can make better decisions on feature optimization and prioritization. There's so many things that you can do better and more efficiently if you really understand your customers. I think so many early stage founders, especially who don't understand personas, one of the biggest mistakes that they make is making assumptions about who they are serving. And if you do that, and we have lots of examples of companies never taking off the ground simply because they made assumptions about who, not just who the person is that they're serving, but what are their pain points around the problem that they're trying to solve. Because what I found in working on many different products with so many founders is that you could have two different personas who have the same exact problem, but the way that you should be solving that problem and how they experience that problem is so different that sometimes it means completely different products. So that's why personas are so important. And um, I'm happy to dive deeper into how to make them, what they are, etc. So actually, I start with that. Most people, they make an assumption of who they're serving, the problem that they're experiencing, and oftentimes they've experienced that problem themselves, and so they assume that everyone else around the world who would potentially be their customer would experience the problem the same exact way. And so what they do is they jump straight into product development, they build a product, and then when they start to sell it, they realize that maybe, just maybe, not everybody is like them, or the way they experience the problem is from a different side or a different angle. And so the product isn't exactly jiving with everyone. And so it's hard to sell. It's always feels like an uphill battle. So what I teach entrepreneurs to do is the very first thing that you need to really understand is who you're solving that problem for and what are the pain points that they have around that problem. So, persona is the very first thing that you're building. What I always encourage when you're just starting out is to focus in on the early adopter. This is the person who, or the persona that has the highest pain point for the type of problem that you're trying to solve. And the reason why we're going after early adopters at the very, very beginning is that they have a pain point so big that they won't care that your product is not complete. It doesn't have all the features and the functionalities and all the bells and whistles. They won't even care that it breaks sometimes, right? Which happens often when you're building a product at the beginning. It's full of bugs and it's beta. So you want to be able to look for customers who have the biggest pain point and zero in. And of course, you need to talk uh, broadly to who's going to be the next customer that I serve. And so kind of keeping in mind of who's going to be the next persona or expanding that persona that you're serving over time. But that you're doing that as your product gets more and more mature. But it is so much easier from an early stage perspective to focus in on somebody very specific because your team is smaller, your resources are few, right? So if you can build a product for a narrower problem, right, or a narrower customer, you and messaging is easier, selling is easier. You're just not stretching yourself too thin. In general, it's as much as information as you can find around them because sometimes you may want to create a detailed persona, but data is not available, right? Or it will take time for you to learn that. So it's very important to understand that personas are living, breathing things. They should be changing. If you're doing your job, they are going to evolve over time. And if you're doing your job well, I should say. So, including things, obvious things like demographics, right? So, like everything there about their attitudes, values, their lifestyle, interests, hobbies, political views, personality views, what type of devices they use. Like are they an Apple user versus an Android user? Will tell you a lot about the aesthetics that they're used to, and should it be a mobile app, or an iOS app versus an Android app if you're short for resources, right? So understanding all the information around what makes them them. Psychographics, like everything around what they value, their lifestyles, the specifics around that, behaviors, uh, anything related to habits and media consumption, uh, what type of services they use, all of that is do they go out and hang out with friends? Do they go out to bars or are they more conservative? Do they have any specific goals, professional, personal, anything related to aspirations that they have, life milestones that they want to achieve? Details as much as you can, of course, build around that. And pain points are really important, especially relating to the types of problems that you want to solve. Um, and so, pain points around time, availability, what's going on in their life, like what are they worried about? Because if they are, like, you can use that information. If you know that they are short for time, then you can build those types of functionalities into your product and help them achieve certain things like extremely fast. Name and photo, some people actually name their characters, not character personas, and they become actual things. So you would, if you have multiple personas or a female or a male version of that persona, you would say, well, what would Sally do? When you're trying to make a decision about a product, you can actually say, well, how would Sally feel? And you can create scenarios around her daily life, and so to help understand what Sally's life would be and what decision would she make if she was building this product. Again, as much information as you can get, but they should never be based on assumptions. Some of those things that you're going to put into your persona at the very beginning will be assumptions, but it's important to understand that those are just assumptions. And then as you go out and talk to customers and gather data, it's important to then uh, update your document. You can even make pivots within the persona. And that's part of the definition of iterating really quickly and understanding the needs. So you initially take your guesses, right? As you remove as much guesswork as you can at the beginning, but then it's part of the process to continuously evolve the persona and how what the product does as a result as well.